Castle Howard are getting ready for Halloween, and this is the first year they've featured a haunted Halloween house, and this just behind me is part of the Halloween trail for the smaller children. The Woodland Trail is designed for children with themed pictures of bats and pumpkin signs that lead you into the woods for a less scary experience. For the braver people, the Haunted House Trail takes you around a section of the castle that isn't normally open to the public.
The installation is being executed in the burnt-out wing of the Castle Howard, which is the southeast wing that was destroyed in a fire many years ago and is very, very rarely seen by the public. So this is the first time in many years it's been opened up, and it's our first go at using the space, and it seemed like a good idea to do it for the Halloween period because it is a burnt-out ruin and it's very spooky in and of itself. So we thought about what sort of a story we could come up with to create a really interesting Halloween type space. So we started off with the idea of spiders, because spiders are everywhere down here, real ones. And we came up with the idea of a Howard many hundreds of years ago who had an obsession with spiders. And as a young child, in his nursery at Castle Howard, was overrun with spiders, and his evil governess would never get rid of them because she wanted to terrify him. And instead of being terrified, he became obsessed with these creatures. And when he went off on his grand tour, he collected specimens of spiders from all over the world, and then he brought them back to Castle Howard. But all this time, he'd been betrothed to his childhood sweetheart, who he was very much in love with, and she was very much in love with him. And on their wedding night, he presented her with a beautiful choker, or at least he thought it was a beautiful choker, made of sapphires, and the rare but very famous ornamental tarantula, which is a brilliant blue colour. And she was not quite so keen on the spiders, but she didn't want to disappoint her new husband. So she agreed to try on this choker with the spider. But when he put the choker on her neck, the spider came back to life and bit her in the neck. And she had a terrible and slow and awful, painful death that neither he nor his physicians could save her. And as the poison from the spider bite ate away at her neck, necrosis, eventually her head fell off. So driven mad with grief, Phineas Howard locks himself away in the southeast wing and begins to do these terrible experiments on all the unfortunate young women that come by his way with spiders to try and bring back to life his spider bride. So that is the back narrative to our installation. You don't need to know that. I think it's still very spooky and affecting in and of itself. But what it really does really well, I think, is start to bring to life the architecture and the feeling of this part of the building. It's an installation that most ages will really enjoy. I think very little ones might get a bit scared. We have a full-on lighting installation, and we also have a sound installation. So for each area of the walkthrough, there are different noises which sort of tell the narrative. And then when you approach the Howard's, what we call the surgery, where he does all his experiments, there is the voiceover, which in fact is the voice of the Honourable Nicholas Howard, who lives here. So that's a nice touch, but it is quite spooky and quite scary. So I would say for the little ones, they definitely need to be accompanied by an adult, but probably over about the age of 10, they can probably walk around it on themselves and be okay.
Around every corner there's something to see, and it's the first time the house has made something like this.
And I did the co-design of the creation of the installation for Halloween at Castle Howard. It's very exciting. It's a space that hasn't been seen in probably decades. Many of the staff who work here have never even seen it, so it's very, very cool. We've had all kinds of exciting challenges, lighting it, making spooky sounds, making cobwebs and monsters come out of the dark. We've got lots of kids going through and they love it. They're scared but not too scared, which was definitely the goal. We hope that people are excited by the building. We hope that people see something they've never seen before. And it's been a joy to work on. We've been working on it for about a year, and it's been a real pleasure. And as you can hear, there are exciting kids in the background. So I hope that you come and enjoy your time at Castle Howard. Have a great Halloween.
With many things to surprise you, will you be brave enough to see Castle Howard's haunted trail this half term? Natalie Eaglin, That's TV.